working?
One.
We'll find out in a minute.
All right, let's give it a go.
There is a meeting, there is a meeting, there is a meeting, there is a meeting, there is a meeting here tonight. There is a meeting here tonight. There is a meeting here tonight. Well, there's a meeting here tonight. There's a meeting here tonight. I can tell by your friendly face. There's a meeting here tonight. There's a meeting here tonight. There's a meeting here tonight. I can tell by your friendly face. There's a meeting here tonight. Well, I went down to the valley one day. I went down to the valley one day. Met old Satan on the way. Met old Satan on the way. What do you reckon old Satan did say? What do you reckon old Satan did say? He said, turn back, young man, you're too young to pray. Too young to pray, too young to pray. Well, there's a meeting here tonight. There's a meeting here tonight. I can tell by your friendly face. There's a meeting here tonight. There is a meeting. Oh, there is a meeting. There is a meeting here tonight. There is a meeting. Oh, there is a meeting. There is a meeting here tonight. Well, there's a meeting here tonight. There's a meeting here tonight. I can tell by your friendly face. There's a meeting here tonight. Well, Satan got mad and I am glad. Satan got mad and I am glad. Lost the soul he thought he had. Lost the soul he thought he had. Satan is a liar and a conjurer too. Satan is a liar and a conjurer too. Better watch out or he'll conjure you. Conjure you, conjure you. 'Cause there's a meeting here tonight. There's a meeting here tonight. I can tell by your friendly face. There's a meeting here tonight. There is a meeting. There is a meeting. There is a meeting here tonight. Hallelujah. There is a meeting. Oh, there is a meeting. There is a meeting here tonight. There is a meeting. Oh, there is a meeting. There is a meeting here tonight. There is a meeting here tonight. Thank you.
Bring the meeting to order.
Thanks very much. Thanks for coming. It's going to take us a minute here as we have to re-clip and everything between songs, because the wind will blow them around if we don't. And we are too old to try to memorize anything anymore.
Nothing.
We do take requests, and as long as the song you request is one of the songs we got in this little book, we'd be glad to do it. I suppose we should tell you who we are and a little bit about ourselves. We're called the Pops Chorus Folk Quartet, and we're a smaller version of a group called the Pops Chorus Folk Singers, which includes 14 people. And that group is a part of the Village's Pops Chorus, which is a chorus of 140 singers, including Pat Parrott, our host tonight. Thank you, Pat. Woo, woo, woo. We got all that because we intend to have a quiz later, so be ready. Our first song was a song that was recorded by two acts, the Limelighters in a very folk pop arrangement and the more gospel arrangement we just performed, which was recorded by a duo called Joe and Eddie. The only time I ever remember seeing or hearing them was on the old Hootenanny show. You remember that one?
I do.
Yeah, Jack Linkletter. Everybody remember Jack Linkletter?
Jack Linkletter?
Yeah.
Who? Yeah. I'll take your word for it.
Old Art's son.
Sure. Our next song is a well-known Kingston Trio song, and then we'll have a really fun song to sing that we know you will remember. It won a Grammy Award in 1966 for the Statler Brothers. Now, we think of all of our shows as a hootenanny. So that means everybody has to sing along. So if you know the words, sing, and if you don't, fake it. That's the way a hootenanny works.
Fake it until you make it.
Fake it until you make it. Okay.
Good idea.
Here's that Kingston Trio song. It takes a worried man to sing a worried song. It takes a worried man to sing a worried song. It takes a worried man to sing a worried song. I'm worried now, but
$5 down. I got myself a brand new house 5 miles out of town. Got myself a gal named Sue, she treats me really fine. Yes, she's my baby, and I love her all the time. It takes a worried, worried man to sing a worried, worried song. It takes a worried, worried man to sing a worried, worried song. It takes a worried man to sing a worried song. I'm worried now, but I won't be worried long.
Well, I've been away on a business trip, traveling all around. I got a gal and her name is Sue. She's the prettiest gal in town. She sets my mind to worrying. Every time I'm gone, I'll be home tonight, so I won't be worried long.
It takes a worried man to sing a worried song. It takes a worried man to sing a worried song. It takes a worried man to sing a worried song. I'm worried now, but I won't be worried long.
Well, Jack is in the living room, holding hands with Sue. Woody's at that big front door, bound to come on through. Well, I'm here in the closet, oh Lord, what shall I do?
We're worried now, but we won't be worried long. It takes a worried man to sing a worried song. It takes a worried man to sing a worried song. It takes a worried man to sing a worried song. I'm worried now, but I won't be worried long.
Thank you. Thanks very much. That was my high note for the evening.
Don't have to go falsetto, man.
Enough of that foolishness. Clips in place. We love the breeze, but we're paying for it here with the clips.
The great thing is we turn these pages, it's just as much a surprise to us as it is to them.
Okay, wait a second. Wait a second. I forgot. I got the banjo on this one. Yeah. Hey, give me a banjo joke, would you, Wood?
Okay, does anybody know,
No, I don't.
you know why a banjo is like an artillery shell? By the time you hear it, it's too late.
I think everybody's heard that before, Woody.
Well, they should by now.
That's the other bad thing about having wooden instruments on a sunny evening. Hard to
Yeah, that's a good excuse.
keep. Right,
Yeah.
Gary?
That's our excuse. We're sticking to
Right,
it.
Gary? Not a good excuse? Hard to keep them in tune.
All right.
Here we go.
I think we're ready.
I keep hearing you're concerned about my happiness, but all that what you're giving me is conscience, I guess. If I were walking in your shoes, I wouldn't worry none. While you and your friends are worried about me, I'm having lots of fun. Counting flowers on the wall that don't bother me at all. Playing solitaire till dawn with a deck of 51. Smoking cigarettes and watching Captain Kangaroo. Now don't tell me I've nothing to do. Last night I risked and tales pretended I was on the town. As long as I can dream, it's hard to show my sweater down. So please don't give a thought to me, I'm really doing fine. You can always find me here and having quite a time. Counting flowers on the wall that don't bother me at all. Playing solitaire till dawn with a deck of 51. Smoking cigarettes and watching Captain Kangaroo. Now don't tell me I've nothing to do. It's good
see you. I must go, I know I look a fright. Anyway, my eyes are not accustomed to this light, and my shoes are not accustomed to this hard concrete. So I must go back to my room and make my day complete. Counting flowers on the wall that don't bother me at all. Playing solitaire till dawn with a deck of 51. Smoking cigarettes and watching Captain Kangaroo. Now don't tell me I've nothing to do. Don't tell me I've nothing to do.
Let's see if I can turn 2 at once here. Concept that.
Oh, there's that one.
All right, what a fun song. We told you a little about ourselves, but we probably ought to introduce ourselves individually too, just so if something goes wrong, you know who to blame.
Yeah, we know who that is.
Yep, so first, let me introduce our bass player on my far right, Woody High.
And on my left, I'd like to introduce a man who's brave enough to play the banjo in public. And he also plays 12-string guitar, 6-string guitar, and has a mighty fine tenor voice, Jack Strike.
And on the far left over there is a guy that I have sung with for 55 plus years. Wow. We started
Yeah.
together back at Purdue University.
No, that was a kindergarten boys'
The
choir.
kindergarten. Yeah, we got started very young. But anyway, I've known him for that length of time, singing with a folk trio over the years, and he moved down here just you know, for the fun of it, and now he's here for permanent. So
I am.
that's Bill McGoy.
Thank you. And on my right, it's always my great pleasure to introduce this gentleman, the fellow who founded the Pops Quartet and the Pops Chorus and the Pops Chorus folk singers. And they've been responsible for how much in donations so far?
A little over $162,000.
$162,000. In how many years?
7 years.
7 years. So.
And it would have been a lot more than that if we could have sung this year, too.
Yeah. So, give it up for Mr. Bill Davis.
Speaking of donations, we wanted to mention that we do have a box up here. If any of you would care to donate, the money all goes to Sozo Kids. We don't take anything. We're volunteers. The money we collect all goes to Sozo Kids. If you're not familiar with them, it's a group that provides significant help to the families and especially the children who live in the Ocala forest, are essentially homeless and are living out there in the wild, effectively. They've been around quite a few years. They do some great work, and so we try to support them as much as we can. So that's what that box is there for. And if you're so inclined, we would appreciate it, and I know they would as well. Our next few numbers include a song recorded by Woody Guthrie's little boy Arlo, a song that James Taylor calls the best song he ever wrote, and no, it's not the one you think. And then a song that won a Grammy for Peter, Paul, and Mary in 1962, and then was a top 10 hit for the late Trini Lopez in 1963. And it's rare for a song to have that much success by different artists so close together. Now, just out of curiosity, how many of you have ridden on an actual train? And I don't count the subway when I say that, but just show of hands. You know, a lot of people have ridden on a train. That's not all surprising to folks in our age bracket, is it? Here's a song that, see if this doesn't make you feel like you're riding on the train. Riding on the city of New Orleans, Illinois Central, Monday morning rail. 15 cars and 15 restless riders, 3 conductors, 25 sacks of mail. All along the southbound Odyssey, the train pulls out of Kankakee, rolls along past houses, farms, and fields, passing towns that had no name, freight yards
you know me? I'm your native son. I'm the train they call the city of New Orleans. I'll be gone 500 miles when the day is done.
Dealing card games with the old man in the club car. Penny a point, ain't no one keeping score. Pass the paper bag that holds the bottle. Feel the wheels rumbling neath the floor.
And the sons of Pullman porters and the sons of engineers ride their father's magic carpets made of steel. Mothers with their babes asleep, rocking to the gentle beat, and the rhythm of the rails is all they feel.
Come on, sing it with us, come on.
Good morning, America, how are you? Don't you know me? I'm your native son. I'm the train they call the city of New Orleans. I'll be gone 500 miles when the day is done. Well, it's nighttime on the city of New Orleans. We're changing cars in Memphis, Tennessee. Well, we're halfway home and we'll be there by morning. Through the Mississippi darkness rolling down the sea. But all the towns and people seem to fade into a bad dream, and the steel rail still ain't heard the news. The conductor sings his song again. The passengers will please refrain. This train has got the disappearing railroad blues. Well, good night, America, how are ya? I said, don't you know me? I'm your native son. I'm the train they call the city of New Orleans. I'll be gone 500 miles when the day is done. I'll be gone 500 miles when the day is done. I'll be gone 500 miles when the day is done.
Thank you very much. Good old Arlo. Someday, I swear we're gonna do Alice's Restaurant, just for fun.
That's all we'll have to do.
That's all we'll have to do, it's all
How does
show.
how does that go again?
I don't know.
You can't get anything.
And Alice's Restaurant.
That's the one.
Sept and Alice.
That's the one.
Are we ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
Here we go.
There is a young cowboy, he lives on the range. His horse and his cattle are his only companions. He works in the saddle and he sleeps in the canyons, waiting for summer, his pastures to change. And as the moon rises, he sits by the fire, thinking about women and glasses of beer, closing his eyes as the doggies retire. He sings out a song which is soft but it's clear, as if maybe someone could hear.
by sweet baby James. Deep greens and blues are the colors I choose. Won't you let me go down in my dreams and rock-a-bye sweet baby James. Now the 1st of December was covered with snow, and so was a turnpike from Stockbridge to Boston. The Berkshires seemed dreamlike on account of the frosting. With 10 miles behind me and 10,000 more to go, there's a song that they sing when they take to the highway, a song that they sing when they take to the sea, a song that they sing of their home in the sky. Maybe you can believe it if it helps you to sleep. The singing works just fine for me. Good night, you moonlight ladies. Rock-a-bye, sweet baby James. Deep greens and blues are the colors I choose. Won't you let me go down in my dreams and rock-a-bye, sweet baby James. Whoa, good night, you moonlight ladies. Rock-a-bye, sweet baby James. Deep greens and blues are the colors I choose. Won't you let me go down in my dreams and rock-a-bye, sweet baby James. Sweet baby, rock-a-bye, sweet baby James.
Thank you. All right, any of you who listen to any folk music, or even Trini Lopez, in the early 60s, gotta sing along with this one. It's mandatory, required.
Does that include us?
That includes us.
Gotta secure this stuff. All right. That'd be a better way. Oh, hold on. No. You have a straight cut?
Yeah.
After the rain this week, I didn't know if it was gonna happen.
Sistine Chapel.
All righty, let's go.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
If I had a hammer, I'd hammer in the morning, I'd hammer in the evening, all over this land. I'd hammer out danger, I'd hammer out love between my brothers and my sisters, all over this land. Ooh, if I had a bell, I'd ring it in the morning, I'd ring it in the evening, all over this land. I'd ring out danger, I'd ring out warning, I'd ring out love between my brothers and my sisters, all over this land. Ooh, if I had a song, I'd sing it in the morning, I'd sing it in the evening, all over this land. I'd sing out danger, I'd sing out warning, I'd sing out love between my brothers and my sisters, all over this land. Ooh, now I have a hammer and I have a bell and I have
misses all over this land. It's the hammer of justice, it's the bell of freedom, it's a song about love between the brothers and the sisters all over this land. Thank you.
I believe the sun's gone down.
Oh my goodness. We can see. Oh, there's a crowd out there.
Oh God, where'd all those?
Oh, this is great.
Sing that song, "Don't Let the Sun
Yeah.
Down on Me."
Paraphrasing that famous movie. I see live people. Okay, let's see. Jack's getting working on the banjo.
Oh, I'm on the banjo.
You're on the banjo.
Okay, good thing you told me.
While he's doing that, we mentioned earlier that we'd raised a fair amount for the various charities. The Pops Chorus and all of the folk entities underneath it have raised over $163,000, I think I mentioned. But just the folk singers, just the quartet and the other, us with the other 10 folk singers have accounted for $43,000 of that. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, we have low overhead.
Yeah, we have low overhead, all right. And hopefully next year we'll start to have a little more. Who knows? Nobody knows. We don't.
You know, on the way up here, we had to stop for gas, and we were there was this guy on the other side of the gas pump, and we were both finishing up about the same time, and he's going click, 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 you know, topping off his tank, and I've heard you're not really supposed to do that. But anyway, we pulled out, and we were coming up Morris Boulevard. All of a sudden, he stuck his arm out of the window, and it was on fire. So, man, I said, "Whoa, what is that?" And he pulled over real quick, and he jumped out, and he ran over, and he was beating his arm on the grass, trying to put out the flames. And I had a fire extinguisher, so I ran up, and I put out the fire on his arm, but he's like laying there moaning and everything. And there was a policeman coming the other way, and he made a U-turn and came up behind us, and he had a fire extinguisher too, and he came running out, but it was out by then. But he tells the guy to get up, and then he arrests the guy. I'm standing there, what? And evidently in the state of Florida, it's illegal to wave a firearm out the window of a moving vehicle.
Wow.
We do sincerely apologize.
There are some unusual laws here. I didn't know that one. Okay.
We got the right songs up here?
Okay, go ahead. I now see where I am. Go ahead.
Okay.
It's very confusing sometimes.
That will be the last one.
Go ahead.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. In the early morning rain, with a dollar in my hand, with a beacon in my heart, and my pockets full of sand. I'm a long way from home, and I miss my loved ones so. In the early morning rain, and no place to go. Out on runway number 9, big 707 set to go. Well, I'm standing on the grass where the pavement never grows, where the liquor tasted good, and the women all were fast. Well, there she goes, my friend. She is rolling down at last. Hear the mighty engine roar. Hear the mighty engine what's got me down. It's no earthly good to me, 'cause I'm stuck here on the ground, cold and drunk as I can be. You can't jump a jet plane like you can a freight train, so I best be on my way in the early morning rain. So I best be on my way in the early morning rain. Thank you. So here's a question for you. Have you ever heard a Beatles song played with banjo and mandolin? Well, you're about to.
I have.
Me too.
Yeah, I've heard it.
Even before we did it, I heard it.
I can't remember where, but I heard it.
Now, if I could get my friend Gary Senator sitting over there to play the opening guitar part on this, we could have done it that way. But since I can't, we had to come up with a different way to start.
You're gonna have to fill something there, buddy.
Oh, you're still doing it,
Yeah,
huh?
well, we got banjo fourth capo here and
Ah, all right.
that nonsense.
Well, then here's an interesting little story. I don't know how many of you know it, but Capitol Records owned the rights to the Beatles recordings in the United States back in the 60s. And what would happen was when a given album would come to them from the Beatles productions in the UK, if they didn't like the songs that were all on that album, they'd change them. So when the UK got the Rubber Soul album, it was different by 6 songs than what we got in the United States. Capitol Records took 4 songs out that they didn't think it was the way they wanted it and put 2 different songs in. This is one of the ones that was added to the US version of Rubber Soul. It was in a later album in the UK. And it was done by Capitol because they were trying to make Rubber Soul a little more folk rocky than the UK version was. UK version included things like Drive My Car, which is far from folk rocky. Did not include this one. Capitol put this one in. Falling, yes I am falling, and she keeps calling me back again.
I've just seen her face, I can't forget the time or place where we just met. She's just a girl for me, and I want all the world to see we've met. Had it been another day, I might have looked the other way, and I have never been away. But as it is, I dream of her tonight. Da 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 da. Falling, yes I am falling, and she keeps calling me back again. I have never known the likes of this. I've been alone and I have missed things and kept out of sight. But other girls were never quite like this. Da 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 da. Falling, yes I am falling, and she keeps calling me back again. Falling, yes I am falling, and she keeps calling me back again. I've just seen her face, I can't forget the time or place where we just met. She's just a girl for me, and I want all the world to see we've met. Da da da. Falling, yes I am falling, and she keeps calling me back again. Falling, yes I am falling, and Oh, falling, yes, I am falling, and she keeps calling me back again.
I have heard actually a couple versions of that with banjos and mandolins and stuff. There are a couple of bluegrass groups that are out that have recordings of that, and they are really, really very good. The difficulty for us is they play them like, falling, yes I am falling, and keep calling me back again. We can't do it that fast.
And our show would be over in 20 minutes, too.
It doesn't work that way.
All right, wait a minute.
Switch instruments.
Yeah, hold on.
You may have noticed that most of my song introductions coincide with when Jack is playing around with instruments.
Let's figure out how to play this
Okay,
thing.
yeah.
Wait just one second.
Okay. We will, we'll need your help starting this one anyway. It's a song by the late great singer-songwriter Roger Miller. As I'm sure you know, he was a prolific songwriter. The song we will do was a #1 hit both here and in Europe, and he won multiple Grammy Awards, and 2 of his songs, including this one, are in the Grammy Hall of Fame. He's in the Songwriters Hall of Fame and the Country Music Hall of Fame as well. And he even won a Tony Award for writing the music for the Broadway musical Big River, which itself won the Tony Award for Best Musical. Sadly, Mr. Miller, who was a lifelong smoker, died of cancer at the young age of just 56. Then we'll have a song that we perform at all of our concerts because it is truly one of the giants of the folk era of the late 50s and early 60s. It was written by Pete Seeger in 1955 and was recorded literally by everybody. So, and you'll know that one really well. Be sure you'll know this one very well too. So be sure to sing along. Here's that song by Mr. Miller. Now, here's what we need you to do with us, okay? We have arthritic fingers, and it's even worse when you try to play. So it's hard for us to snap our fingers. So can you help us? It goes like this. Ready? 1, snap. 2, snap. Just keep that going. Keep
There
it
you
going.
go. That's good. You guys are great.
Trailer for sale or rent, rooms to let 50 cents. No phone, no pool, no pets. I ain't got no cigarettes, but 2 hours of pushing broom buys a 8 by 12 4-bedroom. I'm a man of means, by no means king of the road. 3rd boxcar, midnight train, destination Bangor, Maine. Old worn out suit and shoes, I don't pay no union dues. I smoke old stogies I have found, short but not too big around. I'm a man of means, by no means king of the road. I know every engineer on every train, all of their children and all of their names, and every handout in every town, and every lock that ain't a lock when no one's around. I sing trailer for sale or rent, rooms to let 50 cents. No phone, no pool, no pets. I ain't got no cigarettes, but 2 hours of pushing broom buys a 8 by 12 4-bedroom. I'm a man of means, by no means king of the road. I know every engineer on every train, all of their children and all of their names, and every handout in every town, and every lock that ain't a lock when no one's around. I sing trailer for sale or rent, rooms to let 50 cents. No phone, no pool, no pets. I ain't got no cigarettes, but 2 hours of pushing broom buys a 8 by 12 4-bedroom. I'm a man of means, by no means king of the road, king of the road, king of the road, oh, king of the road.
Thanks for your help with that one. We appreciate it. Boy, just when you're tempted to not have to do this because the wind isn't quite so bad. First time you did that.
Here comes
What's the
wind.
next one called? Wilfred that's coming on the way?
Bush.
Got Vicky, Wilford,
This is a big time sing-along song.
Yeah, usually when we do this song, the audience sounds better than we do.
It's a little embarrassing, actually.
Maybe that's not saying much.
Not hard to do.
Yeah, I'm ready. We're ready.
Where have all the flowers gone? Long time passing. Where have all the flowers gone? Long time ago. Where have all the flowers gone? Young girls pick them, everyone. When will they ever learn? When will they ever learn?
Where have all the young girls gone?
Long time passing.
Where have all the young girls gone?
Long time ago.
Where have all the young girls gone? Gone to young men, everyone.
When will they ever learn? When will they ever learn?
Where have all the young men gone?
Long time passing.
Where have all the young men gone?
Long time ago.
Where have all the young men gone? Gone for soldiers, everyone.
When will they ever learn? When will they ever learn? Where have all the soldiers gone? Long time passing. Where have all the soldiers gone? Long time ago. Where have all the soldiers gone? Gone to graveyards, everyone. When will they ever learn? When will they ever learn? Where have all the graveyards gone? Long time passing. Where have all the graveyards gone? Long time ago. Where have all the graveyards gone? Gone to flowers, everyone. When will they ever learn? When will they ever
Thank you. Thanks very much. I can't tell. I hope you were singing out there.
yeah. Yes, that's,
We ought to send our hall monitors out and check and see who's singing and who isn't.
Raise your hand if you were singing that time.
Yeah, sure.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
You were singing? You were singing?
Brenda, you want to come up and do a solo for us?
So this is another instrument thing. You know, Woody knows a lot about instruments. Well, Woody, tell the folks a little about the banjo.
Come on, Woody. You know everything there is to know about the banjo.
Do you know what the difference between a banjo and an onion is?
I have no clue.
Nobody cries when you chop up a banjo. Okay, now this is kind of private, but I think we like to inform people. So, does anybody know what banjo players use for birth control? Their personalities.
Well, for a little non-banjo story, but a villager story, you know, there are some people that have been in the villages a very long time, and especially some of the folks who live up on the historic side. And, you know, they moved up there in the 70s. That's a long time ago, folks. And there's one, there are two ladies up there who are sisters who live together, Ethel and Maud, and they're in their 90s now, but they're still pretty active. And one of the things they like to do better than anything else is to hop in the car and drive down to Mount Dora and have lunch. So one day they were doing that, and they're on their way, and Maud is in the driver's seat, and Ethel's in the passenger seat, and they come to that first stoplight on Route 441, and Maud drives right through it. It's a red light, and she drives right through. And Ethel thinks, boy, I wonder if I should say something. But, well, it probably changed, and I just didn't notice how late it changed. Well, they get to the second traffic light, and it's red, and Maud drives right through that one, too. And Ethel thinks, oh, my goodness, I wonder if she's okay. I wonder if I should say something. Well, they get to the third traffic light, and it's a red light. And sure enough, Maud drives right through. And Ethel says, Maud, did you know you just drove through 3 red lights? And Maud says, oh, my God, am I driving? I know it's old.
I've never heard that one.
But then again, so are we. So it's okay.
We've heard it, but we forgot it.
Yeah, my memory's not so good. It's funny every time, though.
All right, now that Jack's got Woody's favorite instrument strapped back on, we'll go back to the Kingston Trio songbook for a song that tells the tale of an unfortunate trip south of the border. Talk about going to Mount Dora. Then Bill McGoy will lead us in a song by the Limelighters. It may not be familiar to you, so Bill will go over the chorus first so you can sing along. But first, let's take a little trip with the Kingston Trio. Got it?
Yeah.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
We went one day about a month ago to have a little fun. In Mexico we ended up in a gambling spot where the liquor flowed and the dice were hot, so here we are in the Tijuana jail. Ain't got no friends to go our bail, so here we'll stay, 'cause we can't pay. Just send our mail to the Tijuana jail.
I was shooting dice, breaking in the dough, and then I heard that whistle blow. We started to run when a man in blue said, Senor, come with me, 'cause I want you.
So here we are in the Tijuana jail. Ain't got no friends to go our bail, so here we'll stay, 'cause we can't pay. Just send our mail to the Tijuana jail.
Just $500, and they'll set us free. I couldn't raise a penny if you threatened me. I know 500 doesn't sound like much, but just try to find somebody to touch.
So here we are in the Tijuana jail. Ain't got no friends to go our bail, so here we'll stay, 'cause we can't pay. Just send our mail to the Tijuana jail. So here we are in the Tijuana jail. Ain't got no friends to go our bail, so here we'll stay, 'cause we can't pay. Just send our mail to the Tijuana jail.
That's a very low note. What note is that?
Low.
Low.
It's only a
too low
G.
for me.
It's only a G.
Gee whiz.
A low G, not a high G.
Hi.
All right, well, you got it.
Okay, this is probably going to be a new song, unless you've heard us lately, where we kind of do it at every show. It's called Shine On Me, so I'm going to teach it to you. Now, believe it or not, that phrase, shine on me, that repeats several times. So if you know Shine on Me, you've got the song half learned. And this is a song about friends and lovers, which is kind of an unusual subject matter for a folk song, but be that as it may, it's called Shine on Me.
And Tom
So-
Dooley was about friends and enemies.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean,
that's-
lovers and enemies.
Yeah. So it goes like this. It goes, shine on me, shine on me, just be all the love you can be, and then shine on. Come on, try it. Let's go. Come on. Shine on me, shine on me, shine on me, yes, just be all the love you can be, and then shine on me. Tonight we'll be lovers, tonight we'll be the best of friends, nothing in this world could keep us apart. And tonight we'll be dreamers with a dream that will never end. If we only believe in love, coming right from the heart. So come on, sing it. Shine on me, come on. Shine on, just be all the love you can be. Just be all the love you can be, and then shine on me. Then we'll always be lovers, we'll always be the best of friends. Nothing in this world could keep us apart. And we'll always be dreamers with a dream that will never end. If we only believe in love, coming right from the heart. So baby, shine on me, shine on, just be all the love you can be, just be all the love you can be, and then shine. We're gonna scat. Here we go. Shine on me, shine on, just be all the love you can be, just be all the love you can be, and then shine one more time. Here we go, come on, let's go. Shine on me in the morning, shine on me in the evening, just be all the love you can be, and then shine on me. Yeah, you guys did great. Great job.
We have this recording. We'll sell the recording right after the show. Step right up.
That way somebody will believe that actually happened. So time for another song by that great songwriting duo, John Lennon and Paul McCartney. This comes from the soundtrack album For a Hard Day's Night, but was not used in the film, and was not on the American version of the soundtrack either. We didn't hear this song until 5 months later on the Beatles' '65 album. So, like I said, it was typical for Capitol Records to do that, and as a result, there were a lot of songs that we didn't hear for a long time. What a chip. Then we'll go to Broadway, or actually off-Broadway, for a song that is the best-known song from a show called The Fantastics. The Fantastics opened off-Broadway in May of 1960 and didn't close until January of 2002, after 17,162 performances. It's the world's longest-running musical and the longest-running uninterrupted show of any kind in the United States. The song we will do has been recorded by just about everybody who is anybody, but our version is based on a wonderful recording by the Brothers Four. But first, here's that song from the Beatles that was a little late getting to the U.S., and I'm going to tell you one more thing about it that I just found out about it. And so, those of you who are musicians or remember some songs might recognize kind of the correlation. You remember a song that goes like this? As I walk along, I think of the things we've done together while our hearts were young. Well, John Lennon loved that song. And the first 4 chords of this song are the same basic chord structure. He just made them a little fancier, that's all. But that song, Runaway by Del Shannon, was the inspiration for this song by the Beatles. Ready?
Okay, here we go.
1, 2.
You know, if you break my heart, I'll go, but I'll be back again. 'Cause I told you once before goodbye, but I came back again.
I love you so. I'm the one who wants you. Yes, I'm the one who wants you.
Oh, 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 you could find better things to do than to break my heart again. This time I will try to show that I'm not trying to pretend. I thought that you would realize that if I ran away from you, that you would want me to. But I got a big surprise. Oh, 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 you could find better things to do than to break my heart again. This time I will try to show that I'm not trying to pretend.
I wanna go, but I hate to leave you. You know I hate to leave you.
Oh, 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 you. If you break my heart, I'll go, but I'll be back again.
Thank you. Sounded just like the Runaway. I'm sure you'll remember or recognize this song too, so sing along. By the way, I need to thank my friends Merritt for my new hat. They just brought it to me.
What does the hat say, Bill?
The hat says, "It's a Davis thing." You wouldn't understand.
You're not going to try to explain it either?
I don't need to.
How true, how
I
true.
don't need to, that's for
All right,
sure.
all right.
That's for sure. Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Try to remember the kind of September when life was slow and oh so mellow. Try to remember the kind of September when grass was green and grain was yellow. Try to remember
willow.
Try to remember when life was so tender that dreams were kept beside your pillow.
Try to remember when life was so tender that love was an ember about to billow. Try to remember, and if you remember, then follow. Try to remember when life was so tender that love was an ember about to billow. Try to remember, and if you remember, then follow. Deep in December, it's nice to remember, although you know the snow will follow. Deep in December, it's nice to remember without a hurt. The heart is hollow. Deep in December, it's nice to remember the fire of September that made us mellow. Deep in December, our hearts should remember and follow. Follow and follow.
Thank you. Thanks very much. What a nice
Take one of those hats.
Hey, Gary! There's another Davis right there. The great Gary Davis, guitar player extraordinaire. We have a 3-song set next that includes a classic folk song, another song from Broadway that many people didn't know was from Broadway, and a classic male quartet pop song from 1958. How's that for variety? The first of the 3 songs was recorded by many artists, including Peter, Paul and Mary, the Kingston Trio, and Trini Lopez, who had the most successful recording in 1965. Our version is based on the Peter, Paul and Mary recording. I'll be playing the part of Mary.
Good job.
Luckily, most of the song was sung by Peter and Paul, played by Bill McGoy and Woody High. Then we'll have a song from the early 50s Broadway show by Lerner and Lowe, Paint Your Wagon. The show was not a big success, running on Broadway for only 298 performances, and despite a number of recordings of this song by people like Vaughn Monroe and Eddie Fisher in the early 50s, by the time 1959 rolled around and the song was released by the Kingston Trio, many people thought it was a folk song and didn't realize it came from a Broadway show. It's also been called one of the 100 best Western songs of all time. Rounding out the set will be a million seller from one of my favorite male singing groups of the 50s, the Four Preps. And I bet you'll remember it. And now, let's see if I can get a good tempo with this.
When I was just a lad of 10, the father said to me, "Come here and take a lesson from the lovely lemon tree."
Put your faith in love, my boy, the father said to me. Fear you
to eat.
One day beneath the lemon tree, my love and I did lie. A girl so sweet that when she smiled, the stars rose in the sky. We passed that summer lost in love beneath the lemon tree. The music of her laughter hid my father's words from me.
Lemon tree, very pretty, and the lemon flower is sweet, and the fruit on the poor lemon is impossible to eat. Lemon tree, very pretty, and the lemon flower is sweet, but the fruit of the poor lemon is impossible to eat.
One day she left without a word. She took away the sun, and in the dark she left behind. I knew what she had done. She left me for another. It's a common tale but true. A sadder man but wiser now. I sing these words to you.
Lemon tree, very pretty, and the lemon flower is sweet, but the fruit of the poor lemon is impossible to eat. Lemon tree, very pretty, and the lemon flower is sweet, but the fruit of the poor lemon is impossible to eat. Lemon tree, lemon tree, lemon tree, lemon tree, lemon tree, lemon tree, lemon tree.
Thank you. I lied earlier when I said the last one was my last high note. I forgot about that.
You know, a lot of businesses are having trouble now with the COVID and everything, and I just saw on the internet, Victoria's Secret has come out with a COVID mask to try to make some money.
Oh.
And basically all it amounts to is some dental floss wrapped around the ears and under the nose.
Huh.
And it's really getting bad. I mean,
I'd
even,
like to see that.
Did you buy one of those for Brenda?
yeah,
Yeah, well,
and it's really getting bad. Even big companies like Exxon had to lay off 50 congressmen last week.
What about?
Hopefully you'll be able to lay off a few more.
1, 2, 3, 4. Way out west they have a name for rain and wind and fire. The rain is Tess, the fire's Joe, and they call the wind Mariah. Mariah blows the stars around and sets the clouds a-flying. Mariah makes the mountains sound like folks up there were dying. Mariah, Mariah, they call the wind Mariah. Before I knew Mariah's name or heard her wail and whining, I had a gal and she had me, and the sun was always shining. Then one day I left that gal, I left her far behind me, and now I'm lost, so gall darn lost, not even God can find me. Mariah, Mariah, they call the wind Mariah. Out here they got a name for rain, for wind and fire only. And when you're lost and all alone, there ain't no word for lonely. Well, I'm a lost lost and lonely man without a star to guide me. Mariah, blow my love to me. I need my gal beside me. Mariah, Mariah, they call me Mariah, 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 blow my love to me. Thank you. Thanks very much. We'll do our best to have guitars, mandolins, and basses sound like a big old spinet piano, which is what they used when the Four Preps recorded this song. But we'll see how close we get. Ready? Yes?
I think yes.
Okay.
Yes.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I was a big man yesterday, but boy, you ought to see me now. Well, I talked big yesterday, but boy, you ought to see me now. I bragged too long that your love was strong, and be another guy. You said more when you whispered your goodbye. Well, no, I was a big man yesterday, but boy, you ought to see me now. I said that I was through with you, that I didn't need you anyhow. I said you didn't need you then, but boy, you ought to see me now. Those bragging words that you were mine, of that there was no doubt. So empty now since half my life's walked out. Well, half my life left me yesterday, and boy, you ought to see me now. If you will just forgive me, dear, I'll never break another vow. I broke so many yesterday, and boy, you ought to see me now. I couldn't see it yesterday, but now I know it's true. The only thing that made me big was you. I was a big man yesterday, but boy, you ought to see me now. If you could only see me now. If you could only see me now. Bet you don't remember the last time you heard that one.
No, I don't.
Wait a minute, it was last Thursday when we rehearsed.
Oh, did we rehearse that?
I think our memories will slip in there.
Well, we spotlight Jack's beautiful tenor voice on our next song, which was a sensation in the 90s and early 2000s. It's actually a combination of two older songs, one from 1939 and the other written in 1967, which became a big hit when it was part of the soundtrack for the film Good Morning Vietnam in 1988. This version was created by the late Hawaiian singer Israel Kamakawiwo'ole, who kind of sang whatever lyrics to the song came to mind, if you remember his performance. We've taken the liberty of using the actual lyrics while maintaining the light, beautiful feeling of this version. Let's see. So, Willie, you got that uke ready yet? There it is. A little loud.